In today's world of information and the exchange of information, your reputation can get damaged very quickly. How do you fix your reputation? Especially in today's information world, it's really easy to get a reputation that you don't really like. There are things you can do that absolutely work. In fact, I've got 10 of them for you today. Let's frame this up as a top 10 and we'll do a little countdown. Starting with number 10, stop being a jerk. Now, I throw that out there in kind of harsh language. Let's be open to the fact that the way we act sometimes gets us into trouble. And it doesn't mean you are a jerk. It means that you've shown up as a jerk at certain times. Knock it off. That's what's causing the bad reputation to start with. Now, I know that it's not always that way, that there's a lot of really good stuff that you want to come through instead. Unfortunately, people notice the things that we do that are jerkly. And so that's how those reputations get started. Make sure that you're curtailing that kind of behavior if that's what started it and fueled it. Let's move up to number 9. Care about how you impact people. You do have an impact on other people. And I've seen that a lot of times a bad reputation just explodes and takes off if you don't care how other people feel about you. Now, at another level, what other people think about you is none of your business. And I don't want that to drive every aspect of your behavior. It is important to at least care enough to understand that you do have an impact on other people and that you care what that impact is. That's why it's number 9. Let's go up to number 8. Take immediate action. As soon as you realize that your reputation is not what you want it to be, take some action. I think this is especially true in today's online world. And I'm not an expert in all the cyber aspects of your relationship, but there are people who can help you with that. And if you notice that it's hurting you to have this reputation out there that's less than favorable, do something and do it sooner than later. Take immediate action. Number 7. This probably ties into number 1 actually. Apologize appropriately for any misbehavior. If you have messed up, if you have been a jerk at some point, make an appropriate apology. And really, not the kind that my kids used to do when I said, you need to apologize to your brother. I'm sorry, gosh. No. Appropriate, genuine, authentic. Let's get sincere about this. Because if you actually hurt someone, how do you feel about that? That's not good, is it? So be sincere, make an appropriate apology when you know that it would be appropriate to do so. Along with the apology, let's add a number 6 here. Make amends when you can. Sometimes you hurt people in a way that you can't unhurt them, right? If you can make amends, you should. Why? Well, we're talking about your reputation here. What kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person that never makes a mistake? No, and you never will be. So probably you're going to hurt people at some point. When you do, what kind of person are you? Well, you're the kind of person who makes an appropriate apology and makes amends wherever you can. If you can't make direct amends to the person that you have hurt or wronged, then pick something that allows you to create this new reputation that you are going to do everything you can to make corrections to this. You know, an example of this that I thought of, someone who was a guest on my podcast years ago, his name is Frank Abagnale. Some of you will recognize his name because he was the feature of a movie called Catch Me If You Can. You might remember that the movie is about one of the most notorious con men of our time. It was Frank, but it was him when he was really young. Making amends, Frank has spent the last 35 years, probably more than that, working to apply the knowledge that got him into trouble in the first place to create a better world, a safer world, a world where there is less fraud and deception. And my hat goes off to Frank and to other people who have made the effort to make appropriate amends, even if you can't make them to the person that you hurt, to better our society. Let's go to number 5 on the list. Be patient. It takes a while to change your reputation. Unfortunately, negative things usually grab more traction than positive things when it comes to your reputation. If there have been a few things that have tarnished it a bit, it's going to take a while to work through that in a way that people start to see you differently. And unfortunately, some people are just going to hang on to the negativity. Don't be too tipped over by that, but practice patience so that you don't get unrealistic expectations about, well, by now people should have a different opinion of me. Yeah, they might not yet. So be patient. Moving up to number 4. Be humble and open to feedback and input from others. Humility is where we give up our need to be right about something in exchange for being open. Really, it's about what's right, not who's right. Sometimes we hang on to our pride because we don't want to be proven wrong. I love the way that Catherine Schultz summarized this in her TED Talk on being wrong. She said, "How does it feel to be wrong?" And the input she got from her audience was, "Oh, it's awful, it's terrible, we hate it." She corrected them. "No, you're describing what it feels like to find out that you're wrong. How does it feel to be wrong? It feels just like being right until you find out otherwise." Sometimes we want to hang on to that being right. Remember, it's about what's right, not who's right. Moving up to number 3 on our list. This is obvious. Practice positive behavior. I use the word practice on purpose, especially if you're not used to being positive. You've probably got a reputation for being negative in that case. Practicing being positive implies that it's not going to be completely easy at first. You know, when you learn a new skill, for example, a new musical instrument, a new language, it takes a while to get comfortable with this whole new thing that you're learning. And it's similar here. Practicing positive behavior sometimes feels awkward or unnatural at first. Keep practicing. You'll get better at it. Number 2, get a coach or accountability partner. It's hard to do this on your own, partially because everything that you see is within your own mind and within your own skin. It's like you're inside of a box and your whole experience is projected on the inside of this box. It's all you know. You can get out of the box, and there are instructions for getting out of your box, but they're printed on the outside of your box. That's why you want a coach or an accountability partner that can help to read the instructions to you and give you loving feedback that will help you to repair and fix this reputation. And finally, coming in at number 1 on our list, be consistent. Continue to persist in doing this. It's the consistency that will finally convince other people to see you differently. It will probably take a little longer than you want it to, but not as long as you fear. I hope that you're finding these videos helpful. I'm so glad that you're here. If you've found some value here, would you please share these videos in this channel with someone else?